Look, there's something new in yogurt.
Jello!
Jello yogurt will make you yodel. Jello yogurt make you yodel.
Yodel.
Creamy cherry, yummy strawberry, tasty berry blue. Fun that's good for you. New Jello yogurt will make you yodel. New Jello yogurt.
Have your fun and yogurt too.
He did it for Marcia Clark. Can he do it for you? Monday's Oprah.
I am Bill Campbell, and welcome once again to Chicagoing. HIV and AIDS is a very serious problem, and education is often very difficult to get people to understand what's going on. But to help us do that, very happy to welcome Victoria Calvert-Capel, who is the managing director, and David Bellotti, the booking and stage manager for an exciting theater company called HealthWorks Theatre. Victoria, how did you begin the idea of using drama and comedy to educate the public about the seriousness of AIDS and HIV?
Well, HealthWorks was started in 1988 by a group of artists who really wanted to use their theatrical training and their artistic vision as a response to an epidemic that had touched many of their lives. Mm-hmm. And this was their choice to use their art as social activism, really. Mm-hmm. Realizing that theater has the power to really challenge an audience, to really engage an audience. And we have found, going into the schools, because that is the majority of the programming for HealthWorks, that many of the children have had some education for HIV and AIDS prevention, but whenever you're dealing with young people, if you can relate to them on their level, mm-hmm. if you can diffuse the seriousness of the situation with some humor, with some music, it's much easier to reach them and to touch them with the information that we're trying to impart.
So this is a very unique way of doing it, David. We're going to see excerpts of the Wizard of A.I.D.S. later in the show. How has it been for you working with the actors in accomplishing the goals of the theater?
It's a very rewarding experience. I'm trained in theater, so it's professionally rewarding, but then it's personally rewarding as well. I go out on the road with the show a lot, to go to different schools, and I find that no matter what neighborhoods we go to, and no matter where we go around the Midwest, the kids are always overjoyed not only to see some live theater and see some people coming into their school and showing some concern and care for their well-being, but they're also excited to get the information. You know, a lot of these kids don't have the information, or there's a lot of misinformation, and it's always rewarding when we do question and answer sessions after the show.
So that's incorporated in the program, then?
It can be. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes, even after we're done with the question and answer session, the kids will come up and thank us, and they'll ask us questions that they might have been too embarrassed to ask during the group session, but they're always very happy, and it's across the board, no matter where we go.
Why is it so difficult to get the message across?
Fear, plain and simple. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a scary disease, and it also deals with, it's transmitted in a very, with another very touchy subject, sex. Mm-hmm. You know, that's one of the main ways that it's transmitted, and that's something that people don't like to talk about either. So it's a scary thing, and it's, you know, it's scary to get people to open up about it.
And the saying, ignorance is bliss, is not the case at all as far as HIV and AIDS. How did you come up with the Wizard of A.I.D.S., which we're going to see today?
It was originally begun as a graduate project that one of the actors was working on when he was in school. And it began as a...
Do you think that there are other avenues that people might explore creatively, like HealthWorks, to get the message across?
I think.
Other avenues?
Creative avenues. I mean, it seems like you've really hit upon a very mm-hmm. effective way of educating children, especially about HIV.
A couple of things that we're thinking about doing is having some focus groups, some additional focus groups. We found last year that after a performance of What's So Big About AIDS, which is our performance for grades 4 through 8, we held a series of focus groups with young people who had seen that show, because that show
I'm going to interrupt you because we've got to take a break. Chicagoan will return right after these messages, but first, some information that you can use. Welcome back to Chicago, where today we are talking about HealthWorks Theatre, AIDS, and health education programs. Victoria Capel and David Bellotti, welcome back to the show. Victoria, you were talking right before we went to break about focus groups and how that's really given you an important information that you work
Yes,
with.
it has. We used focus groups last year after some performances of What's So Big About AIDS, which is our show for grades 4 through 8. And we were able to ask questions of these young people as to the effectiveness of the program, what they felt worked, what didn't, because that show deals with teenagers who learn that someone they know has AIDS. And so we need to make very sure that the young people that we're portraying in this show make sense to the young people who are watching it. And we intend to do focus groups again this year, possibly with some Hispanic students, so that we can begin to incorporate some things that are special to their culture in the show as well.
That's exciting. Now, we've got an excerpt, and David, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see from the Wizard of A.I.D.S?
The segment you're going to see now involves the Tin Man, and what we try and do is, because entertainment is such a powerful medium, and especially laughing and comedy, in all of our shows we try and incorporate some fast, upbeat musical numbers and some little bit of jokes that we think are funny, and we hope everybody else does too.
Well, let's take a look right now at the Tin Man scene.
Follow, follow.
Follow, follow, doi, doi, follow the yellow brick road.
Because you're off to see.
Off to see?
That wonderful wizard.
That wonderful wizard, the wonderful wizard of...
Why, it's a man. A man made out of tin.
What'd he say?
Oh, he said...
And you're gonna help me get a brain. No, wait, he said oil. Oh, here, try this.
Oh, no, wait! Not an oil-based lubricant! Where did I read that? Oh, yes. Now, here it says, oil-based lubricants such as Vaseline and hand lotion destroy latex condoms and spread germs easily. Always use water-based lubrication. See inside bag.
Inside that? Oh.
Oh, wait, look at what I have right here. Water-based lubricants.
KY jelly. Oh, he said his mouth.
Oh, well, here's some lubrication for you.
My goodness, I can talk again. My arms, please. Oil my elbows.
Oh, my.
Oh, I've held that axe up for ages. My knees, please. Oh, would you mind terribly doing my hips?
Well, you're perfect now.
Perfect. Bang on my chest if you think I'm perfect.
Beautiful. What an echo.
Hollow. My girlfriend stole my heart.
No heart?
No heart. Look out, stupid. I'm gonna sing now. While seeking love to cherish, I very nearly perished, and then I found one who fit the part. But she gave me tinoria, which made it hurt to pee. That's when I lost my heart. Instead of making me grin, it turned my body to tin. Yes, each and every part. Pills got the germs out of me, but left me tin as tin can be. And still I've got no heart. All day, all day I cried in vain, 'cause I felt like I was rolling on an empty train. Afraid to love, afraid to love, afraid I'll never find. I'll never find. I'll never find my perfect match. The more I cried and rusted, I was afraid those I trusted. And I felt like a shopping cart. And I felt like a shopping cart. As I became more rigid, my body became rigid. If I only had, if I only had, if I only had a heart, if we only had heart.
Oh, wonderful.
Hey, Wizard of A.I.D.S?
Okay, Mr. Tin Man, why don't you come with us to visit the Wizard of A.I.D.S in the Emerald City? He's going to help me get home and give Scarecrow a brain. I'm sure he could give you a heart.
Really? That would be wonderful.
Oh,
You've got to follow, 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 follow. Follow the yellow brick road, 'cause you're off to see that wonderful wizard, the wonderful Wizard of A.I.D.S.
Welcome back to Chicago, where today we are talking about HealthWorks and their tremendous efforts in AIDS education and awareness. Victoria, let me ask you again to talk about the event coming up next month.
All right, the benefit is May 19th at the Newberry Library. As I mentioned, we have 5 elegant caterers with a wonderful dinner. We will also have a silent auction with some great items. We have a raffle this year, which is new for us. American Airlines has donated some tickets to anywhere in the United States. And we're going to have entertainment. If people would like to see more of the shows that they've seen today, we're going to be doing excerpts from all 3 of our shows. So we hope everyone will come and join us.
Oh, that's great. Well, David, why don't you set up the next scene that we're going to see from the Wizard of A.I.D.S?
The Tin Man segment is indicative of what we try and do. We try and use laughter and fun to diffuse some of the tension surrounding HIV and AIDS, and then we work into the information segment, which is what the Wiz deals with when he's revealed at the end of the, towards the end of the play. He gets a chance to go over the information and lead Dorothy in the path of abstinence, which is what we choose in all of our shows. All the shows
That is an underlying theme.
We promote abstinence, and we discourage all types of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, because that's the best way to avoid becoming infected with HIV.
Okay, well, tell you what, why don't we get to meet the Wizard of A.I.D.S?
I am the great and powerful Wizard of A.I.D.S.
you are? I don't believe you.
Oh, I'm afraid it's true.
You humbug.
Yeah!
Oh, you're a very bad man.
Oh, no, my dear. I'm a very good man. It's just that I'm a very bad wizard, as you
But
can
what about the heart you promised Tin Man? And the courage that you promised Cowardly Lion?
And Scarecrow's brain!
I was even hoping that you'd have a cure for AIDS.
Oh, I'm afraid there isn't a cure for AIDS yet. Not even a vaccine.
Oh, but what can we do now?
Well, the first thing to consider is not to abuse drugs and alcohol. Now, I know there's a lot of pressure out there for you to use them, but drugs and alcohol impair judgment, often causing you to get out of control. And when you're drunk or high, you can make some unwise decisions about sexual activity. Oh, besides, drugs and alcohol harm the body's natural ability to fight off infection.
The immune system.
Why, you've been talking to Glenda.
Yes. But is there any way to be absolutely, positively safe from getting HIV?
The best ways to avoid HIV infection are by never sharing needles. That includes needles used for drugs, insulin, steroids, tattooing, even ear piercing, by not sharing any needles at all, and by observing sexual abstinence. Yes. By not having sex. Oh, but if you are sexually active, take care of yourself and those you love by using safer sex practices always.
But how?
Why, you've got to use your brain, your heart, and your courage, which, by the way, you've had all the time. I could have given you a diploma, and you a watch heart, and you a medal, but that would have been silly.
But You mean I have a brain?
Why, yes, indeed. You are under the delusion that you didn't have one because you didn't use it. Many people have information about safer sex, but they ignore it. It takes a person with real brains to take the information seriously and follow up on it.
The brain is the largest and most versatile sexual organ and can create images to arouse, delight, and satisfy. Oh, joy, oh, rapture, I've got a brain. How can I ever thank you enough?
Well, you can't.
Okay.
As for you, my galvanized friend, no one has the power to take away your heart. Why, just look at the love you've shown your friends. With a lover, this love can be safely expressed on a sensual level in a veritable plethora of ways.
Plethora?
Yes, that's so.
Many. I love this thing.
Yes, hugging, touching, caressing, and massage can excite anyone, my, sentimental friend.
Now, if I can only find that special someone for a mutually faithful, mutually exclusive, and mutually monogamous relationship.
Well, good luck. Lion, your fear is understandable. It came from a lack of awareness. But you've had courage all the time to help Dorothy. Just use that same courage with your newfound awareness to help support your friends who are ill. When you take a positive step toward facing fear, you have courage.
Oh, shucks, folks. I'm speechless. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth?
Hey, what about Dorothy?
Yeah, what about Dorothy? Dorothy next.
I don't think there's anything in that black bag for me.
What black bag? You forced me into a cataclysmic decision. The only way to get you there is for me to take you there myself.
Oh, will you?
Yes, and here's our ride.
Come back.
Oh, now I'll never get home.
Well, stay with us then, Dorothy. Yeah. We all love you.
Oh, and love you all, too. But I have to get this information back home so that HIV will stop spreading. Oh, but how can I get home now?
Look, here's someone who can help you.
Oh, will you help me? Can you help me?
You don't need to be helped any longer. You've always had the power to go back to Kansas.
I have!
Well, why didn't you tell her before?
Because that's the way Glinda does it in the movie. Besides, she wouldn't have believed me. She had to learn it for herself.
What have you learned, Dorothy?
Well, I'm choosing to be sexually abstinent. And I still have to use my brain to keep informed about AIDS and safer sex practices. And I have to use my heart to love myself and people with AIDS. And I have to keep up my courage so I can speak up about AIDS prevention no matter where I am. Is that right?
That's all it is.